Aloha family, Spencer-Mack here. It has been a while, and man, there's some crazy stuff been going down. I really hope and pray that you guys are all doing well, feeling well, and making the best of this opportunity. Because it's good to know that in dire circumstances, in all challenges, there lies an opportunity. So it's really interesting to contemplate this one and see what potentials are available. Now, I've been lucky to have a series of teachers in my life, starting with my martial arts teacher, who've just mentally prepared me over and over again for scenarios like this. When you train martial arts, you get yourself in the habit. It's almost a stoic practice where you meditate on the worst possible outcome so that there's no potential experience or occurrence that could catch you off guard. So I can't say I'm surprised by this. You know, I've even spent the last 8 or 9 years traveling around to try to find that place that I'd like to be when things go to pieces. Because to me, it's just been obvious. When you look at how humanity's living, it's like a teenager just abusing this planet that he's been on. And to me, this has been a great relief because I just see us destroying so much of this planet, and this virus has done a great job to put the brakes on, at least to a large degree, of our destruction. So for that, I've been very grateful. I pray and hope that we can all use this time intelligently, because I don't think this is the end. This isn't like the fall of society. I do believe that this is a very good heads up for what is eventually just an unstoppable circumstance. To say society's not going to fall is like saying I'm not going to die. It's going to crash at some point. Certainly it could happen outside of your own lifetime. That's a potential, but I wouldn't bet on it. It's much safer to play it from a perspective to where you set yourself up to where you can still thrive and you're not so dependent on society. So I feel that if you find your world has just been totally turned upside down and you are really limited and restricted where you are now, you are probably extremely dependent on the machine. If you are in a place where you're not, your lifestyle hasn't changed that much, it hasn't affected you to that large of a degree, you're probably minimally dependent on the machine. Unfortunately, this machine we're all a part of is a cancer on the planet. It's not even a stretch of the imagination. It is possible for us as humans to be probiotics as opposed to parasites. There are examples of cultures who have lived thousands of years without even leaving a trace, not being destructive to the environment. So it is possible, and it's up to the right education, the right intention to do that. And I may not be able to convert the entire globe to live in a sustainable manner, but I know that I can do my best to live in harmony with nature, and that when my time comes, I can die well because my heart is clean. That's all that I really care about, because there's no getting around it. And ultimately, I believe this experience has brought up that fear of death for many of us, which is really at the root of so many of our fears. Even if it's the death of our reputation, the death of a relationship, the death of a job, we're afraid of loss. And so this is a great time to really trial your meditation, and see how well you can stop that monkey mind from going off the deep end. Because there's plenty of information, plenty of stories to feed it into some form of chaos, causing you stress, helping you age faster, getting you sicker, hurting your immune system. If we direct the mind well, there's also plenty of evidence that we can put our minds towards that make us healthier, that make us grateful. So we need to strengthen that faculty of the mind of looking for all of the good out of this situation, understanding the challenge supplies an opportunity, and really being curious about what that is. Taking stock in your life seeing how dependent you are upon this machine and deciding if you want to make a move to live somewhere else or in a way that is not so dependent on this unsustainable system. I am extremely grateful. I live in the middle of farmlands. You know, I can't say I'm 100% off because I still buy most of my meat from the butcher, but just my last video I shared that I was living totally off the island. All of my food comes within 20 miles, and I've been doing that for the last 3 months. So I was already like consciously prepping myself of this, and it just happens to be extremely useful now because I don't want to go to grocery stores. I didn't want to in the first place for multiple reasons. So that's my hook. You know, I don't have my own animals to farm and graze, which I'd love to, because anybody who really gets into farming knows you can't have a successful, healthy, vibrant farm without animals. You need their element in the ecosystem, or you're always going to be importing your fertilizers and your pesticides because they are a vital element. So hopefully, you know, we're going to try and get a couple dairy cows. That would be awesome. Hopefully we can add that element and just up our game in that way. But for now, like, my mind goes to prepare, and I stock up my whole freezer with steaks. We threw in on a half a cow with a friend, made it super cheap, came to $4 a pound. Got like ribeyes and prime rib. It's ludicrous. Super grateful. And so it's actually so far been a blessing, just bringing me and my family and my family who's on the farm here with us closer together. It's causing us to direct our energy into making our blueprint, our farm, even more sustainable. That was already our directive. We've been cultivating our farm as a blueprint, as an example that we can give tours and teach classes to show people how to integrate practices like syntropic farming, regenerative agriculture, agroforestry, and bringing in the traditional practices of the Hawaiian farmers, because they lived here for thousands of years without, I believe a couple thousand, without anybody having to deal with starvation. And I believe their population was close to what it is now on this island. So it's possible to produce enough food, but the systems have to be intelligent. And we have gone so far away from anything natural that we've forgotten how to do that. So that is honestly my advice in this time. If you find yourself where you are just tied to the system, you are just going to be owned by whoever has the food, the grocery store. If they're open or not, are you going to get rations eventually? How's that going to be set up? And take heart, because I really don't think this is it. But I think this is a good heads up and a good forewarning for something that could be coming within 2 years, definitely within 10 years, is my perspective. And see, who do you know? Do you have any family, any friends who have like moved off grid, or go and live in the mountains and hunt and fish, or live on a farm? If you trace your family lineage back, you can find somebody who was into farming, I bet you. And just think of those friends who have made it happen, and get in touch with those people. An aunt, an uncle, a cousin maybe, and be open to trying something new. Things are crazy as it is right now. Maybe you don't have a job anyways. It might be worth it to give it a leap. I was lucky enough to give it a leap about 12 years ago, and I left Florida and came to Hawaii, and I'm extremely grateful that I did. You know, this experience will be very revealing about our environments, about the people that we're in relationships with, and just reflect on it and consider what could be improved, and really contemplate if it's worth making a jump to something new. Because there are people who are set up in such good ways that there's just nothing to worry about in their world. They're completely free of dependency, completely sustainable ecosystems. And not only is that deep security in times like this, but it's true health. If you're searching for real health and you're living in a city, that ecosystem in and of itself is not sustainable. How can you be a picture of your full potential if you're living in a non-sustainable, unnatural environment? So if you're truly searching for that health, for the unfoldment of your complete potential, really consider your environment. There are places, there's a lot of land out there. And be humble to learn from those people. Be humble enough to put on the white belt, to start over, and love and kindness. Honestly, all I can say, even if I got trapped in a city when things went to shit, as long as I do my best to live righteously, live by my virtues, I don't care if I die. As long as my heart is clean, I don't have regrets, then I have nothing to fear. So that's the greatest lesson that I like to share, is that mindset of you can find that peace and security within yourself. Ultimately, any environment, any bank account is not real security. It's all temporary. This could go in a tsunami. A hurricane could wipe decades of work out here on this farm. It's all temporary, but there is a security that we can cultivate that is innate in ourselves, and ultimately that comes with knowing our true identity at the very core of our being. That I, that awareness, if we identify and understand what that is, who I am, who you are, there is innately built-in security there, no matter the environment, no matter the circumstance. So those are some ideas and some thoughts I wanted to throw out there with you guys. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Where are you in the world, and how much has this thrown you off? I know it's challenging right now. You could be stuck inside. Maybe you don't even have a yard. You can't go out and get sun. You might just be stocked up on all sorts of non-perishable foods that are, processed junk. And then you're sitting around watching all this fear news and freaking out and eating. I pray, I send you my love, my hope, my health, that you can cultivate strength, clarity, awareness in that environment. In fact, it's those intense experiences that birth higher states of awareness. This pressure, it's how you make diamonds, right? So really look and see the gift within this, and cultivate yourself and your health so that your mind can be clear and you can adapt to the changing circumstances. There is huge opportunity in this. If we can keep our breath flowing and our mind clear, we're going to come out in something very beautiful. Though we might have to hold our breath under a couple waves first, but it's all good. So I got lots of love and appreciation for you guys. Keep making more content, keep the conversation going. Please share with me what your experience is like, any thoughts or questions on this topic, and I'll just keep it going, all right? Lots of love for you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.